So this says with buyback. A lot of people criticize this card. That's why I like to kind of showcase this card. This isn't to win more. This is to show you guys that we can easily buy back the Whispers of the Muse. A lot of people when they see my list are like, Spawn, there's no way this card's right. And I'm like, dudes, we buy this back all the time. We're also running low on cards. Did you see that we're almost out of cards? So, when a lot of people say stuff like that, I'm just like, let me show you why I like some number of Whispers. Let me show you. It's really that good. Another Glitter Wish. And see, now we're going up on cards. Isn't that neat? And we'll pitch the Caryatid. You can pitch the land, although we have a land drop this turn if you want to use it. Let's go grab the Flesh Blood. We're not going to do anything cool like fuse them. We typically don't. There's usually no reason to. We're going to Blood, and we're going to kill him with the Stitcher, I guess. I don't know. I'll kill him with the Lumbering Falls. Doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter. We're actually just going to go through these triggers now. The Blood's on the stack. It really doesn't. I don't need to float. Just go through them. Just say no. What this Blood is doing is, what it does is it lets my creatures like Caryatid actually kill the opponent. It says, target creature I control deals damage equal to its power, target creature or player. It won't work against the Ley Line, but it'll work against the Snaring Bridge. It'll work if you're trying to combo off in the second main phase. Dwarf Race says, why no Scoopy? It is a hat, Tiger Blood. It's cold, so I'm wearing a hat. Things you can cut. You can cut the Think Twice. You can cut a Stitcher. You kind of want to just cut down on the graveyard stuff. I assume he might have some rest in pieces, so cutting down on your graveyard stuff is fine. Although since he has Surgical, I still very much like since he has Lingering Souls, I like the Surgical. The only way he's interacting with me really looks to be hand hate. So let's go with the Leyline playset. You could run the Swan Songs. You could run the Face Shield if you want to try to protect the Jeskai Ascendancy. I feel like the primary way he wants to interact with me is Thoughtseize. If we have room for Swan Songs, it actually hits both. Face Shield only protects us from things like Disenchant, whereas the Swan Song I can counter a Thoughtseize or Duress or Inquisition. I can also protect the Ascendancy. It does both. This card's actually very flexible. I could counter a Bitter Blossom. This card's amazing in any combo deck. I don't know why people don't run more Swan Songs. If you're an all-in combo deck, this is a great counter spell. It's one of the best. So we're going to cut one Whisper. You can trim one, and I'm going to cut a Peak. If I want to get some number of Swan Songs in, you'd start cutting Stitchers. There's room for maybe, I kind of know what's going on. Peak is kind of when I like to have like one or two of these when I don't know what my opponent's up to, but we saw his whole deck. If you want to see his whole deck, it's right here. We did Surgical in game one, so, like Ghostly Prisons and yada yada. Prison is something to consider. We can't beat Ghostly Prison without the Flesh Blood, probably. We need to go wide. He's running Sorens. We need to worry about the Scullers. Stain the Mind is scary. This is only a one of. He might have more on the board. I'm impressed that despite being budget, he's got 3 Bitter Blossoms. It's kind of just fun to draw circles on this. I'm going to stop, but you get the gist. We know what we're up against. Sanbo is a non-bull against Intangible. It is causal. I'm not going to use it on him. I'm going to use it to break through his permission. I think maybe just 2 Swan Songs is where we want, because it's not great in this matchup since he does have token generation. You'd almost maybe rather run the Face Shield. We can use this to buy us a turn with Fateful Hour. Actually, I'm going to go with that. I agree. I actually think I'd rather just have one more Stitch or just keeping the Think Twice. 2 Stitch is fine post-board. Game 1, I just really want to combo and I want to combo quickly. When your opponent brings in potentially things like Rest in Peace, maybe he sides out his Lingering Souls, puts in Rest in Peace. We'll see. This hand's nuts. The only thing that would make this hand more nuts is nothing. This hand is just straight nuts. Keep. Doesn't even need to see another land due to the Noxious. This hand is just everything we ever... Why do I get the best hands possible when we play in the practice room? We get, like, stupid good hands in the practice room, but, like, when I take this to, like, the league, we get crapped on. It's hilarious. This is just amazing. Wait, do we assume opponent is budget? Yeah, I did. There were a lot of hints that he's budget. Did you see his list? There's a lot of hints. There's no Lilies, for example. I think that's a big one. But then again, Lily is really expensive. I'm not even interested in turn wanting Seer Visions. I'm going to save this when we're comboing. We either need to see a land. We actually don't even need to see land. Like, we just need to go next turn, play Caryatid, next turn, go off. Due to the revival, this fetch land gives us a target. It gives us a trigger. That'll untap Caryatid, then I'll cast Serum. No, then I'll bring back Stitcher, then I'll cast Serum. We're going to discard the Stitch. He's got a red splash. Interesting. Wonder what the red splash for. Hope it's not Crackling Doom. Is it target opponent? I haven't played against much Doom in Modern. What's the red for? What are you doing over there? What are you doing? What are you doing? If he has an Edict effect, what land do I want to get should we lose the Caryatid? I think it's the white source. Could be red source since we have more white sources than we have red sources. The red source is pretty important. We have way more ways to get the white source, as you can see. I'll go with the Stomping Ground. Doesn't matter too much, hopefully. We'll see if he has an Edict effect for my Caryatid. We also could just put Caryatid back on top as another line. So it is each opponent. So if he does have exactly what I was talking about, we do lose the Caryatid. We'll see if he does. Does buy him a turn. Bajuka Bog. Ooh, okay, so we need to, in response, because we don't know if we're drawing a land, I actually have to revival this on top. That way we can play land and then ascend. Kind of that awkward moment. But we do technically need to do that, because if I don't draw land next turn, or if Phyrexian spell exactly, we don't combo off, and I would like to combo off now. Let's get a basic, it's fine. You don't have to, but we can. Tiger Blood says he bogged himself. Are you serious? Let me read the chat. Did he really bog himself? Why would you bog yourself when your opponent has a fetch? That's funny. Let me see. Let me see. Yep, he did target himself. That's hilarious. Oh well. Let's cast the Slight first. This will discard our Fate Stitcher. We can kind of off to the races. The nice thing about Fate Stitcher, since your opponent, unless they have like a split second spell, disenchant my Jeskai. Oh, hides. Tech. Love it. Alright, we need to find another one. Now, this is why I run essentially 8 Ascendancies, though. Alright, there's the Cerulean. The Cerulean's a free draw. We're just digging for a wish or another. Cerulean is another free draw here. So we can kind of keep going if we want to. Like, we can Cerulean on the Sylvan. And we may want to do this during his turn, although we have the Ley Line. We can Cerulean again. Just kind of want to draw through the deck while we can. There's the Glitter Wish. We could stop here. I'm fine stopping here. We'll go for the kill next turn. Pat's like, what are you talking about, Spawn? He has to bog himself. Oh, so true. So true. Do you think it's worth buying into eggs? Ben, by the way, go for it. Do you need Heralds of Kozilek? I have a playset you can have if you need them. Thank goodness it's not Toxic Deluge. Could be Damnation if he taps the Temple. We get. Like, look at that redundancy. We're gonna go find the second Ascendancy. Alright, Nevermore. He's gonna name Ascendancy. We're not running my One of Wear Tear anymore, unfortunately. I used to have a One of Wear Tear. I'm not running it anymore. Alright. Yeah, name Ascendancy. There you go. They do something weird now, like wish into draw spells, play a bunch of manlands, and just beat him to death. He's got 3 cards. Let's see, this is 3 damage a turn. Okay. Let's Glitter Wish into... Well, Hydroform's only until end of turn, so that's 3 damage. Okay, we got 3 damage. We have another beater in the form of Zendikon. We did side down on Stitcher, so it's unlikely. I think we just have to move to Lumberfall Stitcher control mode. We've beaten Infect that way, though, so let's do it. Looks like he just brought in a lot of hate. You sold me, you're now building Ascendancy. Go for it, Jero. Don't forget your Wear Tear. Some people are still running weird cards like Nevermore, I guess. Alright, let's Glitter Wish. We'll see what our options are. I guess let's just make some land drops and start beating him down with the falls. He doesn't have anything like a Ghost Quarter to play. Or Tech Edge. Yes. So we'll want the Sweeper eventually, because that's what he's going to do. He's going to try to go wide. So we will want the Fire Spout. In the meantime, though, I probably want the Scar Scale Ritual, draw some cards, try to draw to the Idyllic Tutor, get a beater. So let's draw some cards. Wish too strong. You don't give up. Alright, there's a land drop we needed to animate the falls. It's also a Cerulean Wisps for my Sylvan. We can keep going this turn. I can keep doing things. I don't need to hold cards anymore since we actually can't cast Ascendancy. So we're gonna... I've actually never had to play against Nevermore. Let's see what I can come up with. This is always just fascinating. We'll Serum. If we had more mana, I would Slight first, then Serum, but since this is my last spell this turn, likely. Definitely. Alright, sweet. There's the Wind Xenocon. So that's how we get there. Bottom top. So we're going to beat him down with a Wind Xenocon and a Lumbering Falls. That's the plan. Now, if he starts committing a lot of creatures to the board, I'm going to wish up the Sweeper first. And then we'll animate. So basically, we're going to kind of play it cool. Or unfortunately, he does have the Ghost Quarter. We're going to need a second Lumbering Falls then. Unfortunately. And what's more unfortunate is both my basics are in play. We thought he didn't have a Ghost Quarter. Oh, sweet, he's Ghost Quartering himself. Thank God. Thank the stars, he's Ghost Quartering himself. He has no idea that's what I'm hedging toward. Thank the magical gods. What's up, Danmart? Sideboard beatdown with Manlands. That's right. You just gotta get creative. Alright, Sword. Okay. Actually, that might just be Lights Out. We were hoping he didn't draw his Planeswalkers with this line, right? Because he can just block a Reno. Not next turn, but... I guess I could hit the Sorin, and then he can't make a dude? That was weird, too. Why plus there instead of minus? I can actually just kill the Sorin at the cost of the Wind Xenocon. Right? Let's see, we animate Lumbering Falls. No, we're 1 mana short if I wanted to do that. We can do that line next turn. What if this turn we just hit with Falls? Because it's guaranteed damage since there's no Ghost Quarter. And the next turn, of course, he could have like a Path or something. So the wind, or maybe even Dismember. So the Wind Xenocon line isn't perfect. Jero says Vampires Fly. Yeah, we are 1 mana short. Let's go with the Animate line. And we'll give Sorin a nice punch. I wanted to be punching my opponent, though. Now he's like, wait a minute, that's what you're doing? Maybe I should have Ghost Quartered your Manland. Try to Path this. I know, Captain, that's the line. I was talking about Path for the Xenocon. Alright, let's give Sorin a nice punch to the face. At least he won't minus for a Vampire. He'll probably plus, and then hopefully if there's no interaction for the Wind Xenocon, we can get there. Alright, Souls. If he flashes it back, I'm going to maybe consider wishing for Glitter. Or a Glittering Wish for the Sweeper. Alright, we drew land. Ah, that's the land I needed last turn to get there. He only cast half a Lingering Soul, so I don't want to do that line. And certainly I don't want to commit the Soul before that. So options. We can Fate Stitch to tap a Spirit. That doesn't change anything. If we had 2 Stitchers, I'd consider it. We could like tap, get him with Falls, right? Blue, 1, 2, 3. No. No, not enough mana to do that line either. Maybe this turn's just Glittering Wish, but not for the Sweeper because that's too obvious. Maybe this turn's just Glitter Wish for the Hydroform. How many cards in deck? What? No. I might just have to Glitter Wish again and look for something. Okay. But if we're glitter, we don't want to show the Sweeper because we kind of want him to commit the other half of the Spirits. Or the other half of the Lingering Souls. Say yes. Let's go grab something. Alright, Reborn Hope's a consideration. We can get back the Scar Scale Ritual and get some more value out of this character before we burn it to the Fire Spout. Although, if all his creatures are flyers, I actually don't have to lose the Caryatid. That's a consideration. I think Reborn Hope's fine here. Hydroform we may want eventually. Probably not now. Just to get in that last little bit of damage. Why don't we grab the Reborn? And... get back the Scar Scale. If I want to cast the Scar Scale this turn, I do have to shock, though. That is irrelevant.